Hey everybody, I'm Chris. This is Specka. Off camera is Johnny. Welcome to the Coffee Fuel Woodsman channel. Okay, well, it's early fall. I've worked the last 3 months in a row, so this is my first vacation, and that could be why there's been a lack of videos for me. I apologize for that. The other thing you're going to notice is I left 110 pounds of fur at home, and that's because my older girl Tilly doesn't get along well when Sprout's in the mix with other dogs, and we weren't sure, where Johnny and I traveled down in one vehicle, how they would get on. So rather than risk the trip, and I couldn't get Claire to bring me down. I could have. It was ending up to be too complicated. So we only have Specka along for this one. But yeah, we're going to be out here for 2 nights, 3 days, and we're just going to explore some of the backcountry lakes out here in this area, and see about having a nice, relaxing few days. Anyway, we're going to pack up, get on the water, and go find our campsite. I think we're going to try a new one out today. Time for the raincoats. And I forgot to get mine out. At least I put it right on top. Oh, look, the rain's starting to slow down already. Now that looks low. It's interesting, I actually just got a comment on my last video, which I came to the same area, same lake, and they said how low it was. Geez, I forget which subscriber commented. I want to say Rob. I apologize, I forget. Anyway, I'll show you what it's like right now. Ooh, yeah, look at this. Oh, look at this, we can paddle. This is great. All right. All right, so this is a spot I discovered the last time I was here that I didn't camp at. We can do a campsite over here. All right, well, it isn't exactly where I had planned. We decided down in the hollow on the corner. You couldn't actually see anything. It was nice. But actually we came up to the top of the knoll that runs north-south, and we have almost, like, I don't know, 240 degrees of lake views. And we're going to set our little fire pit up in this area on top of the knoll, and then when we're sitting enjoying our fire and our booze and food and whatever else, we got that view, which is beautiful. The sun's going to set behind us here, and somewhere up in here we're going to put Johnny's tent and my hammock. We've got a lot of dead standing hardwood too to pick from. I mean, we're going to just build a little tripod for it. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because then at least we could, depending on that, get rid of it.
Yeah, like There's only 2 of them, but I did bring the big boy. Johnny's doing some limbing, and the first real task I did, or we did, to build insulation for our cooler. And also it's, you know, it's an ugly cooler. I don't like looking at it when we're out in the woods enjoying nature, so We've buried it in all debris in a little hole, threw a big patch of moss on it. And we got to start making some lunch. So you don't have any mayonnaise or mustard, Johnny?
The only thing I have is like
I'm gonna try this barbecue sauce. We'll see what happens. Of course you do. Sandwich. Done. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. Look, Specka's being some good. Hasn't touched my sandwich over there. Some good girl. Oh, I wish my dogs were here to see you. Oh, I wish my dogs were here too. Although it'd be chaotic. Oh, oh. Okay, so this is where my hammock's gonna go, from this tree to a tree just behind the camera. And that'll give me a fairly good view of the lake by the looks of things. I don't know if you can see the, I think you can see the chairs. That's where our fire area is gonna be, just over there. I'm not sure where Johnny's gonna put his tent yet. So I don't have any new gear this time. But I did pick up this, and by pick up I mean given to, this little hatchet. Johnny brought a proper axe, so I decided just to bring this guy. So this is a JDD US, I think that's the brand, it's in this stamp right here. And it's a number 800 as far as I can tell, or that might be something to do with the steel. And I made this last night for it. This is just a quick and easy sheath, but a friend of mine named Steve gave me a bunch of old tools, and this was one of them. And I'm pretty happy to repurpose them, because he says he's just had them in his basement for quite a few years. So Johnny and I need to build a fire pit, because even though the burn ban is low, we don't want to set anything on fire. So we're digging out anything that would readily burn, kind of getting down to the part of the ground that's a little bit more wet and damp. Brought up a bunch of rocks. Johnny did most of the work, as usual. Well, that seems to have gone better than what we normally have for luck. We don't have a lot of distance between our grate and the actual rock we're going to put most of the wood on. But for what we're cooking, we're mainly going to use this Dutch oven on a tripod. So, I mean, just for boiling coffee and stuff like that, that should be fine. We'll just push the coals underneath. But we've got it so we can set it up in a few different spots, and it's fairly level. That'd be good for your coffee pot right there. I think I'd prefer that if that's all right.
for it.
Johnny brought me a beer. I actually, for maybe the first time ever, brought him a couple of beer that my buddy Jay sent for my birthday, which was my birthday recently, and I don't think I mentioned that yet. And actually a buddy at work, another Steve at work, gave me a beer called Happy Days. So I figured that'd be an appropriate one. I'm gonna have this first, and then I'm gonna switch over to a little bit of fancy bourbon just to christen the campsite. I only brought that much of it, so hopefully Johnny and I probably split it down the middle. One go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. We're eating healthy now. We're gonna try, Johnny and I, where's your cup? Poof! Oh! Wow. Coffee grinds came out of mine.
Mine's pretty good.
I think it's called Angel's Envy. And I did take a little video of pouring it into this little vial, this hand sanitizer vial. And Claire, my wife, got me this for my birthday, so thank you, and I'm looking forward to trying it for the first time. That's a good woods bourbon.
Very nice.
I'm going to build a tripod for the Dutch oven. I'm using some line that Matt got me. Actually, Matt and I are going to go on a trip, supposedly, hopefully it happens, in a couple of weeks. So the channel will have gone from 0 videos in 3 months, or 4, to 2 in 1 month, maybe more. Let's try our tripod. Johnny's convinced me I need a tarp for tonight, just based on logic that almost every time we ever go camping it rains, and there's probably going to be some condensation overnight anyway. I forgot all my tent pegs because they are in with my tent for some reason, even though the last time I went I had my hammock. So maybe they're somewhere in my bag, but I can't find them. So I'm using tree branches that I've cut off roughly in the shape of a point. I'm going to tie out the tarp there now. I didn't talk about it yet, but this is under here. The hammock itself is a War Bonnet Blackbird XLC hammock, and all of my insulation recently has been hammock gear. So that's a hammock gear top quilt rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -7 Celsius. This is a hammock gear underquilt protector, which pretty much blocks out drafts. That's kind of the most important part of that, or that's what I found it most useful for. It does protect from water, kind of getting on your insulation underneath. And underneath the hammocks, the underquilt, and this is my DIY one, which I created from Eddie Bauer Costco down blankets, and I just kind of sewed them together into the right shape, put some shock cord on and a couple of clips, and that's kind of all there is to it. Some adjustments. It's not a big thing. I think I watched a guy on YouTube teach me how to do it. It took like 2 hours. So that's all the gear for the hammock anyway. I'm going to flip that over, tie out the back ends first. So this is why I didn't bother sharpening the pegs. You see that? I've got this, what we call in hammock land, porch mode. I'd almost like it a little bit taller, just because when I stand up my head is touching it, but it doesn't matter. If there's no rain forecast, I mean, the argument could be made that you don't need it at all. I like it I've had too many trips where I didn't think it was going to rain at all, and then it rained just enough in the middle of the night at 2 in the morning that you had to get up and put the tarp up. Well, I wasn't sure where Johnny went, and I kept looking up. It looks like he put out his stuff to set up his tent, and then I realized, now he put down his tent footprint, and he's just laying down on it. He's asleep. I think he's asleep, or he's just napping, but it's been 15-20 minutes now, so anyway, this is exactly what I needed. I needed to get out and just have some quiet time. It's nice to be back in the woods, isn't it, Spec? Johnny was saying the same thing, said it's been too long since we've been out. I guess something I'll mention before I forget, a buddy of mine, Josh, was asking what my pack weighs. Well, for this trip, my main pack wasn't hardly 35, 40 pounds, but that's because I put all my food in another pack in the cooler, and I had some gear in the second pack. And when I'm doing portage trips, which this is not, we're we were only like 20 minutes to get to this campsite, and it was one first portage, which into the lake, the put in was, I don't know, 20 meters. So I brought a Dutch oven, 2 packs, and a cooler, and then my canoe. So I mean, it's a pretty heavy trip, but what that overall weight would be between the 2 packs and the cooler would probably be in the 60, 65 pounds, I would assume. But I didn't weigh it all, probably more, because packs weigh, like the Fall Raven backpack, the one I have is almost 7 pounds empty. Lighter is better if you're actually moving anywhere, but sometimes you can't help it. You know what? Johnny hasn't asked for any, but I think it's time to go start a fire and make some coffee.
And even like half a cup is good for me there, K-Bar.
We got lots of coffee. I made 8.
What the Sam Hill did you do?
Oh, Johnny, it's broken. What? It's broken off.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, you can still use it like that, but you're going to have to, like, every time you go to pour, you're going to have to take that off. That's too bad. I wonder why that happened. I didn't do anything to break it. Okay, for the tally, I've broken 1 percolator. The top of it anyway, Johnny's. Nothing else is broken so far. And we do have coffee, so that's good. Johnny brought me the Andy Special. What we think is to me that's like an MRE Mars bar because it's gone solid white. I brought us these, Johnny. Bourbon, whatever. I guess they call them cream crackers. Get into those for our coffee. I didn't bring any stroopwafels this time. Might be an oversight.
We can't eat these yet.
Why not?
They don't expire till 25.
What do you think, Spec? Is this life? Spec has found a squirrel, and Johnny has decided that he's finally going to go set up his tent. So I'm going to show you around camp, and I'll try to show Johnny's tent location as well. Just going to keep the camera in one spot, and whether the camera picks it up or not. That's lake all the way around. Okay, girl. And then Johnny's chair's right there. My hammock. So all the way back around. That's our gear pit. Apologize for the messiness of it. And then there's Johnny up there. That's where his tent's going to be. There, he's getting it. Maybe I'll show it here in a second. Looks good, Johnny. Pretty much time for me to get a guitar out. I was going to smoke the pipe, but I think I'll wait till after supper. Johnny brought his ukulele, hoping to record some music for us tonight. Johnny and I are going to go grab the canoes because, as you can see, it's beautiful out. Just going to take the GoPro because I don't want to get sloshed anywhere. Big camera. Come back to play a bit more guitar in a bit. Spec, you coming? You coming? There's Johnny's beautiful little setup. That looks good.
This is a nice little spot there to nestle in.
Johnny is going to cook us some sort of chicken meal. So Johnny's got that fire going really well, and you probably see the light on my face. It's starting to get dark. Johnny and I we were debating having another beer because I brought 4 of them. But I think for tonight, where I've had to go pee about 25 times, I think we're going to switch over to bourbon. So this is Wild Turkey. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's Wild Turkey 101, and it's going in here. 101 is a little bit too nice for the woods, but where it's birthday, I was like, screw it, I'm just going to buy it.
Is there that much of a difference?
Johnny's got the chicken in the pot, and it looks like we're having some kind of sandwich. What are we having?
It's a dry rub that number 2 makes.
Yeah.
And over with chicken breast, and then
Yeah.
just on a brioche bun and some tabbouleh and whatever other.
Oh, nice.
What is it? Quinoa?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sounds good. There we go.
Stick your cheese on.
Thank you, sir. Ooh.
There you go.
This is actually quite fancy. That's delicious. What do you think?
Good. I'm always afraid of overcooking it.
No, it's really tender. I like it. Specka, you like it? You gonna get any? No. Let's see if you can see our little string lights. Oh yeah, there they are. We ran those around the whole campsite. They look pretty good. Just enough light so you know where you're at. Okay, Johnny's number 2 made that for us. What is it, Johnny?
Just a chocolate coconut covered cupcake or whatever.
Chocolate coconut covered cupcake. This is our dessert. That frosting is delicious. The whole thing is good. Thank you very much. It's 10:45. Johnny and I actually ended up picking up the guitars and his ukulele at around, I don't know, 9:30. Right when we were both about ready to go to bed, about 9, I guess. And then, yeah, I looked down at the watch, it was 10:30. So we finally decided it is time for bed. So tomorrow I think we're gonna go explore the lake, probably just do a paddle around the entire lake as best we can. It's fairly big. We were gonna maybe do a portage down to another lake system, but I don't think we're gonna bother. We may do some hiking around, but that's about it. So yeah, big day of eating ahead of us and cooking tomorrow, because I'm doing, I think, both breakfast and supper, and I brought a couple of fairly big meals, so it's gonna be a pretty good day. Anyway, I'm gonna pack up. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, everyone. It's 7:30, and it's overcast this morning. We thought it was going to be sunny, and the wind's a little bit up, but it's not crazy. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's probably around, I don't know, maybe 10 degrees, I guess. So hanging my arm out is going to be a little cool. I slept really well last night. I think I'll put this sweater on. I woke up a couple of times in the night, but it wasn't anything crazy, and fell right back asleep. Had a little fight with this pillow. It turns out that the MEC Deluxe extra large pillow is not the right size for the hammock. So I had to let a bunch of air out of it, and then it just sort of surrounded me in the hammock. So I don't know if a smaller one would work better, or if I should go back to my old Thermarest, I think, pillow. So anyway, I think I'll throw the pants on and get up, snap some twigs to throw on the fire and get her going. Geez, 8 o'clock and Johnny's up already. Look at that. Get this fire going. He said he was waiting for the smell of coffee. Well, it's about to get done. And that stuff that you debark?
Yep.
After you split it, like I split it into a 4 section, man. While we're waiting for the coffee to start percolating, we decided to start heating up the Dutch oven, because everything I'm making for the corned beef hash is just going to be done right inside the Dutch oven. This is a bag full of onion, green pepper, tiny bit of orange pepper, and some mushrooms. And then I got like 3 big bricks of butter at the top. And then there's this. This is $14 of corned beef here in Nova Scotia, which just blows my mind. Bang for a buck, I don't know. If it's amazing, then maybe we'll do it again. But it's a little pricey for a camp meal, honestly. Well, not for this pot. Okay, all the veggies. All right. Okay, take 2. Edit that out. Whoa. There we go. It's going in Johnny's. I'm gonna have my first one with just black the corned beef in and let it maybe caramelize a tiny bit just on one side. Okay, we're gonna put the eggs in. I've not whisked them up, so let's do that now. Whisked, look at that. And finally, we have all that cheese. Oh, that one didn't whisk. Johnny, we failed as camp cooks. So we're gonna cover that. There we go. Cooked in about 2 minutes. Now we're just gonna top it with a fairly generous layer of cheese. Okay, we're gonna try this. Where's my kneeling pad? As I talk. Johnny.
Thank you.
That's quite a lot of breakfast, actually. Corned beef and hash. And I'm gonna put ketchup on mine for sure. Oh yeah. Ruth, it might have been worth it. The corned beef hash was delicious, and I think there's enough left for probably 2 sandwiches. But Johnny doesn't want one. He's watching his weight. So I'm gonna just have 1 sandwich with it on an English muffin. Okay, we're gonna go for a paddle. So we'll say goodbye to camp for a few minutes, maybe half the day. We've got food packed for a lunch, and I've got stuff to boil up for coffee. Not really sure where we're gonna go. We're just gonna go do some exploring. And the sun has come out. You go with your dad.
We're going there.
Look at the colors, Johnny. Can you see? I hope the camera picks up on them.
Beautiful.
Some serious weight.
Or just like fry bars, right? Like getting it to roll.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny has never been to this campsite that myself and Jay, if you watch this, which I think you probably will, we established this a few years ago, I think 2-3 years ago. So I'm just going to show Johnny where it is. This is the fire pit right here. We had a couple of really nice meals here. You know, it's actually been a while since I've been here, but I'd camp here again. Like, even though we found that, what I'd say is a nicer site Johnny and I found, but you know, look at this massive pine. Way up. That's beautiful.
Dark.
Oh, that's interesting. They got a little boat launch carved out.
Yeah. Oh, come.
Johnny and I just explored that little beach, just kind of in the north. I guess this is one of the northern coves of this lake, and now we're going to go to where I think a lot of people tend to put in, up in the very north of the cove. You know, we found the very top, and as you can tell, the shoreline's a little bit manufactured with rock. There's kind of a boat launch to the right. Thanks, Pop. So we just did a short walk up over the hill. People obviously come in around that way. Now Johnny had to exit out of here one year because the ice rolled in, and he had to come here and hike all the way around back to where our car is, which would have been about, I don't know, 3 kilometers or so. But 30K in the snow. But yeah, I don't think I'd want to camp up at this end. That's all cleared out by somebody that brings a trailer in. There's big fire pits. It's not bad. It's just not my thing. But it is nice. We're going to go find a place to boil up, have a lunch. Good girl, Spec.
Now it's in the top of my lunch bag.
I'm gonna try a piece of peppermint chocolate and I'm gonna have my sandwich. Corned beef on English muffin.
Sit. Sit.
Good girl. Woo. Coming in or what?
I'm good.